Hello, everyone. How we doing tonight? Haven't talked in a while since we didn't see each other on Friday. Was out celebrating my birthday, so a little different. I'm doing great. Thank you guys for asking. What do you mean, ooh? Mic problem? All right, let me fix that. Is this better, or are we still having microphone issues? Still bad? All right. You know what? I know why that is occurring. It is because I am sharing, probably, my system audio. Let me fix that. This should be fine. Audio device, default to this. It is better now? Okay, so wait, is it back to bad? Yeah, okay, so that's because you have the sound on my stream. So just mute the sound on my screen and it should be fine. Let's fix this up, right? Still pretty new to this. Sharing a virtual camera is pretty much how we're doing it. Okay, so Justin, just to confirm with you, so I know that for next time, what it was doing is that you had the sound on the screen, like on the stream, and it was sharing bad sound, right? Okay, okay. So I just need to figure out a way that it is not sharing audio when I start this virtual camera, which I can actually with 2 clicks, which I'm not gonna mess around now, but it's gonna be better for next time. Awesome. All right, so apologies for this quick thing that we just had to fix very quickly, but we're gonna get right into it, right? It's pretty much boring, and I think I told you guys, right? February for me, historically speaking, I only traded one other February, as I was trading futures, but it's just not a good month for me. And this early on in the month, it just ranges. In the year, I mean, it just ranges. And especially with the incoming volatility from a new president, that's all I see coming. So of course, I'm gonna prioritize the highs, right? We talked about this quite a bit, how we're stuck within a range, right? And as long as we don't get out of this range, I'm going to be trading the same thing, and it's mean reversions, right? I told you guys, I showed you all the quarters right here, I believe, or at least the midpoint, right? I have these two little templates here, but all I'm trading is just returning to that point. And if you look, like, just look at this. Okay, so returned, of course, on the first day, you had that trade long. On the second day, you opened here, you could have shorted all the way down here or longed after. This third one didn't work out. We went to the top quarter. Once we're at the top quarter, we want to return, trade within this, and then continue expanding. But we're ranging. So as soon as we take out highs, which I don't know if we took this out actually. Yeah, we did. So as soon as we take out highs, you're framing retracements slash reversals. Of course, in this case, it was the new week opening gap. All right, so by just checking how we interacted on the previous weeks, I'm getting used. Well, I'm adjusting myself to current market conditions. And what does this mean? Well, if I expect it to always range, then I'm only going to be wrong when it finally expands. And currently, we are ranging more than expanding. So what does that mean? If every time we take out a high or go into a key higher time frame array, I just frame reversals, even if it's just for retracements, then I know I'm going to be right all the time except for one time, which is when what is going to happen? Well, very simple. We're going to get out of this and we're going to go target these highs. And when that does indeed happen, I'll have taken 1 or 2 losses instead of 20, always looking for expansion within consolidation. This is also how I interact with my markets from a day-to-day standpoint. If it's ranging, I take ranging trades, which means I don't expect it to go to my objective. I expect it to always have deep retracements. And that's what I'm going to be framing. So can I tell you guys this is going to go up or down? No, not at all, right? Why? Because we had that huge Friday downward expansion. Now, of course, I want to see us close all the way through this, right? So I need to see more bullish closes within this range, and more specifically, this liquidity void was rebalanced, right? We did talk about it I don't remember when. Was it in the monthly outlook or perhaps the weekly outlook just before? But I talked that when there is absolutely nothing, which is just a void in price, right? So not just a new week opening gap where there's a difference in candle bodies. There's nothing here. For me to call it balance, I need to see a bullish close and a bearish close through it. Now, I'm missing some bearish close, just a little bit, but still, I can start framing shorts. And shorts until when? Is it going to go all the way down here? I don't think so. I'm going to be framing shorts to return to that midpoint. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We might even just gap lower even more and just open all the way down there. So whenever we're in these conditions, I just take my intraday draws on liquidity. So session frameworks adjusting to every day we had. You know what? You want a beautiful showcase of this? My brother, which you might know as Rusty in this Discord, is starting to make some posts about how he utilizes Rice statistics to get some data-backed frameworks. And in cases like these where the markets is ranging, I think it's just the best opportunity for this specifically. Just to get back on track, it of course will depend where we open, but I mean, I tell you guys, I don't like having like a stuck weekly direction. I like knowing my levels and knowing that here is where I want to long, here is where I want to short. Now, seeing this SMT on the highs, what does this tell me? Well, this is the premium of a range, right? We created a new range that, well, we are creating a new range, right? We formed an important point, swing point. So until another swing point forms, I'm not going to long. It's that simple, right? Now, we did retrace into something I would consider a point of interest, and this is simply a large new day opening gap, right? And if we frame it correctly, from the close of Monday the 3rd to the open of the 4th, right, last week. So this is a large new day opening gap. This is where we close the week off. We're going to interact with this. At least this is what I'm going to be framing, especially due to the fact that our new week opening gap was actually here as well. So for me, it's all going to be about framing trades based on this. So based on this for a more wider of a level, and based on simply this new day, opening gap. Of course, if we open below this opening gap, then I'm going to be framing some sort of point of interest formed in here. So my swing point that I was talking, right? So probably die down in here until we form a swing, and I'm going to need SMT. I'm going to need a low at a specific time, all the regular criteria that I look for a trade setup, and then I can start framing longs. And I'd love to tell you guys that we're going to go up here, but I'm now in ranging conditions, which means I'm going to be framing trades to here, and depending on how we close in regards to the midpoint of this, perhaps even higher. And what I mean by this is a bearish order block. So I am looking at the midpoint of this, which we call, well, which ICT calls the mean threshold. So personally, I'm going to be looking at this as a potential objective, this area, and if we close above that mean threshold, then I'm going to continue taking longs, and of course, as soon as we take out this high, I'm going to frame retracement shorts, right? This is how I want to long. And now if we have more of a regular open, right, I'm going to expect a lot of consolidation into this all the way into CPI, right? What's fun about CPI is that the news tells you everything you need to know. It is such a high impact news and so clear in terms of direction that as soon as the news releases, I know exactly what I want to trade right after, no matter what. So before CPI, it's going to be unclear, right? If we've just consolidated. But if CPI gives me a manipulation here, and I have some sort of intermediate time frame SMT, right? So I'd go on the hourly chart, and of course I'm watching this full range, and we take out one of the lows with SMT, then I can trust this as a high probability place where low of the week might form, right? So that's what I'm going to be framing. I'm using data in terms of profiling with Rice statistics. That's just what I love to do now in terms of the news, right? So I'm looking CPI weeks. Where do the low often form on which day? And then I go deeper into these sessions. And instead of just looking at, okay, well, the low should form on Monday. Okay, and on Monday, what do the statistics tell me for the high and low of the day? And then the New York session, and then the opening range. I go from a top-down analysis perspective utilizing statistics. This is what I do now for all of my frameworks. I love to do this. But as I said, if CPI pushes us a little bit lower and then we see some form of expansion, and of course I'm going to require a lot more, so I'm always going to be waiting for that breaker to form, that large expansion, then I'm going to start framing longs. And if we don't have any long setups, I'm just going to keep shorting, utilizing this new week opening gap from not this week, but the previous week. And with the same exact logic, and let me just remove these so we can see a little something. Ollie cam now. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And no, you won't see me say hello chat. Never. But yeah, just to get back right into it, right? Those levels here, and let me actually change the styling just so we can see it differently, right? Let's just put it a little bit bigger. Well, these levels here are what I'm going to be using if we open within the new week opening gap. So I'm just going to take these levels as higher time frame point of interest, right? So when we look for setup and we look for tap into a higher time frame point of interest, that tells us that we can now frame lower. It tells us that we can trust this pattern. Of course, time-based manipulation confirmed with SMT. I'm going to look for these to form, but my higher time frame point of interest here is going to be one of these levels, right? This is just how I interact when we're ranging. I like to split them up into quarters, and then you can fractalize it even more and split the quarters into quarters. And honestly, you'll always be able to justify a line. And what do I mean by that? Well, I could draw random lines at random places, and then I'd see, like, look, here, I just drew this out. Then I could say, oh, well, look, the body's respected here, right? This is my outlook for the week. Awesome. Well, here, just to get back on track, right? I see this. I see we didn't close above it. So now I could trust that we were going to go lower. And then when we traded back into it here, look at the candle bodies, right? We didn't close above 50%. And here we close about in the first quarter. We respected that close. Like, there is so much I can do with these, right? And I could give you the same thing with like different levels. So I just have like, here I also have my ace, by the way, if you're ever looking for it. These are my settings, and if you want my settings, just let me know, and I'll send you guys the pictures from TFO's awesome Chrome extension. But basically what I'm saying here is, in times where the markets are ranging, it is more important to have rules than for them to be good rules. So for me, I use these quarters as points of interest. I understand that when I'm here, if we are ranging, we're probably just going to induce this high. And so if we don't close above this last quarter, it gives me insight to look for shorts, right? So we tapped into it, then close into it. Next day, we barely went above it and traded all the way back down. Next day, we expanded lower. This is how I'm going to interact with these levels. Of course, at this point in time, personally, I didn't know we were going to be ranging. I really thought we were going to go there. But now that we've went all the way back down here, I can utilize these ranges. I can fractalize them into even more quarters. And this is how I interact with ranging markets. I know that was a lot of information, but that's just how I like to do it in these terms. So I'm going to be looking for high probability trades where all of my rules are there. And since I know that in these conditions, right, in ranging markets, which is not bad whatsoever, it's a mechanic of price, right? It has to be this specific way. That's just how the markets work, right? But since I know that my edge is, I was going to say duller, but that doesn't sound like a word, is worse in these conditions, I'm risk off. What does that mean? That's a very nice way of saying that I just cut all of my risk in two, and I'm just being low risk until I can get a better grasp on the market. And as you guys saw with the statistical analysis we did at the beginning of the month, that's going to be near mid-February, mid to that second or third week, well, that third or fourth week of February. Outlook for the week, we're going to make bank, hopefully. Hopefully. Right? I try and never get into trading with expectations, because sometimes I have amazing weeks and sometimes I have hard weeks and, well, bad weeks. And recently it's been more of not bad weeks, because I end up in profit on quite a bit of those, but just harder, right? They aren't as smooth sailing. There's a lot of back and forth. My curve is really slow to go up. It looks like this. We're just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, big drawdown. Then we go up, and then a little bit of drawdown again. It is not a smooth, beautiful curve like I want it to be, right? But slowly but surely, we're just keep on grinding, right? These are not my best conditions, so I just adjust to it. How many people do you think are profitable using ICT? That's like a big question. A percentage? I don't know. I don't like to group people based on how they trade, because it doesn't matter, right? I've said this 1,000 times. Doesn't matter what concepts you use to trade. It doesn't matter how you trade, right? All you need is, for example, if I have the data, I know that my trend lines are better in trending conditions. So if I have an area where I know it's consolidating a lot and then we have a trending time period, then trend lines work and I'll make money trading my trend lines. So like there's no way to give you a percentage of how much people I think are profitable using ICT because it doesn't matter that they're using ICT. I can't group it like that. That is fucked up, Julius. Actually. But yes, just to give you a quick answer, I think a lot of people aren't. Because a lot of people that get into ICT, it's not because they want to be successful traders. That's what they tell themselves. It's because they want to have access to that why the market works, right? They're good analysts, but they're not good traders, usually. That's what I like to think, right? When I got to ICT, my goal was to be a trader. So I stopped watching his videos extremely quickly and didn't watch much because it was really fun and I appreciated learning about the markets through his eyes, right? I liked the mentality, how he was explaining it, but I just wanted to make money. And watching ICT videos is not going to make you money. Time is everything, brother. ICT for entry patterns. Pretty similar to what I do. Time-based confirmations and then just use a unicorn entry. Do we have any other questions, right? I know this was a little bit of a weird one, right? But there's not much to say, right? Ranging conditions, this is how I interact with the markets. And actually, these levels are all staying on my charts. So let me just remove this. And these will be my levels for the week. I'm going to keep them bigger right here because I want to use them. I'm actually going to do the opposite at least. I'm going to do solid here. And I'm going to do my normal setup here. Sea of Thieves stream now. We're going to do pirate gaming streams in the Discord. I don't think so. I don't think so. I wish I had more time to play this game. I used to play quite a bit, and then I started trading. And now I play it once a month, every 2 months. Awesome little pirate games for those that are interested. But if that is the only question, we're going to call it a day. All right, it's Super Bowl night. I don't know if you guys are a fan, but I'm definitely leaving right now. Going to grab some food and watch that game. So you guys have a great night. We'll see each other. We have plenty of BA reviews, right? I don't think I mentioned it actually specifically this week, but if you look at the weekly outlook, we'll have a price action review every single day except tomorrow. So except Monday. And no flunking on Friday, right? I was celebrating my birthday last Friday, but there is no reason why there won't be one this Friday. You guys have a great night. Good luck if you're trading tomorrow, and if not, we'll see each other on Tuesday night. Bye, guys.